What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So the best week for bodybuilding fans is about to begin. And not just for the fans, all of the IFBB pros as well. And we are gonna get to see some great moments throughout this year's Olympia weekend. And some of those moments, they will for surely be captured on camera for the fans. And I'm gonna make sure that you guys won't miss any of that. So let's start with Chris meeting Ramon Dino. So how flat is Ramon? Just 1 week out of the show. Just 1 week out of this year's Miss Olympia, which is supposed to be his redemption storyline. So it's flat up to a point that Chris gave him a refeed in the form of a burger. Now I have to say Ramon did appear very flat in the update picture that he posted yesterday with Mike Sommerfield. And there was a comparison being made between Fazi and Ramon Dino, since Fazi also posted a similar shot. And that actually made a lot of people think that Fazi is gonna beat Ramon Dino once again. Now Chris is of the opinion that Ramon is winning this year's Olympia and he is gonna dethrone Chris Bumstead. So it has been a really grueling prep for Ramon because this was over 20 weeks long. And now it's time to just cruise into that peak week, make weight and show the world all of the hard work for these past 4 months. And also show it to the whole bodybuilding world why he is the second best bodybuilder in Classic for 2 consecutive years. The Mona Lisa of bodybuilding, Andrew Jack, reaching Vegas and meeting the former 2-time Classic Physique Olympia champion, Keon Pearson, is another great moment. So I have to say it doesn't really matter where Andrew Jack places at this year's Olympia, because everyone wants to be him. Everyone wants to have a physique like him. And not just the fans, even the pros, they want to be like him. So talking about Keon Pearson, what a duo Chris Cormier and Keon Pearson have been for all these years. So how does Chris Cormier motivate Keon during those final hard weeks? By telling him that he would do anything to go back and cherish that moment when he was one of the best in the world and do it all over again. And what I mean by that is be a Classic Physique Olympia champion again. So what I really like about this time of the year is that majority of these guys, majority of the RB pros, they are training under the same roof, in the same gym. The vibe, the energy, that is just totally unmatched. So there is the reigning men's physique champion, Ryan Terry, meeting Oskar Lashinsky, a man who hasn't posted a single physique update throughout this year's Olympia prep. And this has to be one of the most anticipated physiques for Classic Physique division this year. So first time for Muhammad Fada in Vegas, because this is gonna be his Olympia debut, and he's gonna get to stand with some of the best guys in the world, and that too for the very first time. So here is a moment of him meeting a fellow open competitor, Stanimal. So more updates like this will follow, so stay tuned. Next up we have an update from Stefan, who is switching to the men's open bodybuilding and who just switched gears to turn into a great men's open bodybuilder and absolutely wasting no time whatsoever. So most of us always had the same sentiment for Stefan. All of us knew that this guy, he is just restricting himself by staying in Classic Physique in a smaller division where he has to make the weight cutoff over and over again. And he has to lose all that muscle to make that weight cutoff, when in fact he actually belonged in the men's open bodybuilding right from the get-go. But just because he looked so damn good at this year's Portugal Pro, we all want to see him go up against the best of the best at this year's Classic Physique Miss Olympia. Now I believe he would have definitely made top 10, since he was able to beat a top 10 guy at this year's Portugal Pro, Wahid Badepi, who was 9th at the Olympia last year. So we have seen how crazy big and round Stefan has looked multiple times in the offseason. And that is why a lot of people always thought that he should switch over to the men's open for good. And the man finally realized that he just did not want to waste any more time trying to make that weight over and over again. And he had nothing but muscle to lose. So it is pretty evident that Stefan's body wants to grow. But the thing is, he won't just be ready to be really competitive in the men's open bodybuilding, especially in 2025. Now he has tremendous muscle bellies, but he still needs a lot of thickness, a lot of density to go up against the best of the best, to go up against the big boys. Isn't Brad Wilkin the only trained men's open bodybuilder who started his career as a Classic Physique Pro, but then he went on to win 2 IFB Pro shows in the men's open? And please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this one. The reigning 212 Miss Olympia champion Keon Pearson, he just went through a final heavy back workout. So what an incredible year it has been for Keon, where you are gonna find a mutual consensus that if Keon comes in at his all-time best, if he shows up at 100%, he isn't just gonna repeat, he is gonna absolutely smoke that whole lineup. So that change in Keon's mindset, that has been the biggest game changer, where he took the offseason as serious as he does the prep, and the improvements Keon has been able to make throughout this year's offseason and the Olympia prep as well. They are clearly visible in all of the progress pictures that we have seen from Keon throughout this year's Olympia prep. His skin looks thinner, quads are cross-righted, and his back is gonna be so much better than last year because his training program that was designed this way, taking into consideration the fact that Sean Rita, his biggest rival, he has one of the best backs in the world. He has so much muscularity and density and thickness. I mean, it is one of the best backs across any division right now. Now for the record, Keon won the rear lat spread against Sean at the Olympia last year as well. But since Sean Rita was a little bit off at the Olympia last year, this upcoming battle between these two guys, that is gonna be really interesting. Because Sean knows he needs to be at his all-time best to go up against a genetic freak like Keon Pearson, who is such a shape monster. So there are many things that are going in Keon's favor. First of all, he trained uninterrupted the entire year. He did not have to go through a prep in the middle of the year to get his Olympia qualification. Secondly, his biggest rival, Sean Rita, he isn't a spring chicken anymore, as he is in his 40s now. So the age factor does come into play as well. So is there anyone else in that 212 Olympia lineup who can challenge a guy like Keon this year? I don't think there is anyone, and I do not see that happening anytime soon. Next up, we have an update from Martin-Fitzwater, just a week out of his Olympia debut. So the expectations that Martin has set for himself for his first ever Miss Olympia, they are pretty damn high. First call out, which means top 6 in the world, which also means he needs to take out at least one big name, or maybe 3, like for instance guys like Nick Walker, Brandon Carey, or Hunter Labrada. So that is a very big task, since the names that I just mentioned, they are veterans of the sport now. Now Martin and Stefan, they aim to bring a better conditioning than what they brought at this year's New York Pro. Now if they are successful in accomplishing that, and at the same time, be just as full and hot as he was at this year's New York Pro, I have to say that is gonna be such a dangerous package. Because the thing is, very few guys in bodybuilding who are first of all so young and who are of his height have such unbelievable aesthetics and also a whole lot of thickness. And we are just going by his New York Pro look. And the crazy thing is that he had a few months of off-season after winning New York Pro, where the man pushed like a monster with his training partner, Brett Wilkin. So he is definitely gonna be a few pounds heavier at this year's Miss Olympia. So only 27 years old, with such a great physique. The one thing that Martin needs is to stay 100% in terms of his health. He has got so much time, and he has got such a bright future ahead, and he can for surely be one of the best in the world. So what are your predictions about Martin? Is he in your top 7? Next up, we have an update from Good Vitu, who continues his pursuit to 300 pounds in the offseason. So the next time when he steps on stage, which is gonna be sometime next year, he is totally undeniable. So the last physique update that was posted about 2 weeks ago, the man looked really massive in those pictures. And he also had very good separation for a guy who was weighing in the high 280s, and he has never touched this kind of weight before. So Good Vitu had a great rookie year, top 3 at the Arnold Brazil, easily the most right guy in that lineup. And then that runner placing in Detroit, where he looked even better. Now yes, I do agree, he was lacking that muscle maturity, that density that comes with years and years of training, especially in comparison to the guys he was going up against, as he was the youngest out of all of them. But with another solid year of training under his belt, he is for surely gonna get closer to achieving his goal of winning his first pro show and getting to the Olympia stage. So he is also gonna be one of those guys who will most likely be making their Olympia debuts in 2025. The man has got one of the best looking quads in the entire bodybuilding world. The hamstrings, the glutes, they were ripped to shreds. One of the best looking front double biceps at the moment. So the main focus in the offseason, that is the upper back and bringing up his arms. Now if I'm not mistaken, he is one of the youngest IV pros in the men's open at the moment. Previously it was Jose Beast, but he switched over to classic physique. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.